Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today on Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Mary Johnson from Midwest Maifest. Mary, thanks for being on with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, Mary, give us a little background on you. Where did you grow up? And let's talk about your career and your journey to your current position here with Midwest Maifest.
Okay. Our festival is in St. Charles, Missouri, and I was born and raised here.
Nice.
I love it here. It's a wonderful town. I'll put our historic Main Street up against anybody else's. It's truly a beautiful little town. The things that I've done in the past, I've tended bar. I have been a travel agent. I was in sales. I taught for a while. And each one of those little components, I think, helped feed into being able to manage this festival. I think what I liked the best was probably the travel agent, but that was way back before people were able to
Sure.
do their own travel plans, from home. You
Yeah.
had to pretty much go to the travel agency, and that was a lot of fun, being able to make, people's dreams come true, kind of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So a lot of people skills, but also giving people an experience
absolutely.
was the part that you enjoyed. Great. So
Absolutely.
tell us about Mayfest. What does it look like when a person comes to town and visits your festival? What do they experience?
This will be our 6th year.
Okay.
So we are still learning, we are still changing, we're still creating and trying to make it a very good experience for folks. Maifest is just a 4-hour festival, and it is beer, wine, and spirit sampling event. We try to keep it as authentic on the food side as we possibly can. But the beer, the wine, the spirits, it's just pretty much, if someone wants to come and we have room for them, we'll take them. It is a ticketed event.
Okay.
Because it is a fundraiser for the organization that started it, which is St. Charles, Ludwigsburg, Sister Cities. We started the Maifest event as the fundraiser to help support our exchange programs between St. Charles and Ludwigsburg, Germany. So we won't start publishing a link for ticket sales until about a month out. So probably in middle to end of April, because part of, in all honesty, the driver on the ticket prices is the number of vendors and the offering that we can do for folks. So last year we had, I think it was 38 or 42 different vendors, and most of them were beer, wine, and spirits. So it's a good time. We do it in Newtown, which is kind of on the eastern side of St. Charles. It's a perfect location for us. They have a little amphitheater, so our bands can play up on the stage. Our vendors can be in the little circle drive, and it's a really nice family-oriented event.
Very, very cool. Very cool. When does this happen?
When the date this year will be May 21st.
Okay.
It will be between 2 and 6 in the afternoon. Happens to be a Sunday, because around here so many things happen on Saturday.
Right.
And plus, admittedly, in Newtown, where we do the event, there's a chapel right outside the Circle Drive, and they do 3 and 4 weddings a day on Saturdays in May. So we can't even touch Saturdays.
Sure.
But most of our vendors are appreciative that we're doing it on Sunday, because they're already booked on Saturdays.
Where did the idea, since you guys are relatively new in the festival?
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
Our board, our Sister Cities board, one of our folks was trained in Germany as a brewer for 3 years.
Oh, nice.
And we used to participate in the St. Charles Oktoberfest, and we don't anymore. That's a whole other story. So the gentleman on our board, Joe, said, let's do a Maifest. And this was back in late 2016. And I said, what's a Maifest? Yeah. So he educated us all. and it just sounded like a great idea. We decided that having something in the spring was a better idea for us than in the fall, because there's so many things going on here in the fall. And so we kind of kick off the festival season in St. Charles with Midwest Maifest.
Very cool. What is it for you in this position that's the most rewarding?
Well, it probably sounds pretty cheesy, but I truly mean that the vendors and the folks that come to the festival have really, really enjoyed it. And admittedly, at the very beginning, we had no idea what the reception would be. Mm-hmm. But the people that come, it's just truly gratifying to look around and see them dancing to the music and laughing and smiling and just having a good time. And that's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, no, are there a couple of instances that stand out to you in the past few years where you're like, yeah, this is exactly what this town needs?
Well, yes, and actually, one of our vendors, the very first year, he specifically said, this is much needed in this area. So that kind of solidified it for us.
Yeah.
And one little, particularly happy memory, so we started in 2018. And in 2018, the weather got really hot that day. That was unfortunate, but it was okay. But in 2019, it was, I think the high that day was 43. It was cold. It was a little bit rainy. Everybody had on hats and gloves and jackets, but every single person was smiling and laughing and enjoying themselves. And there was a little girl. She was probably, I don't know, 2 maybe. She was dressed in a little dirndl, which is a little German girl outfit. She was dressed in her dirndl with her little shoes and a little jacket, and she was just dancing to the music. It just made the day, because it was pretty miserable, but everybody had such a good time, and she was really loving it.
Yeah. No, it's things like that as a live event planner that you just are like, it just shows you how important humans are and human interaction,
Absolutely.
How vital it is to your community growth and your community spirit. And that's incredible. Mary, thank you so much for what you do. Let me just say that if you never get to hear that very often, let me say that on behalf of, I'm not even in your town, and I know your spirit, I know your soul and your intent, and that's fantastic. How do people find out more about Midwest Maifest? Let's say they want to travel and make some plans for the St. Charles area. How do they find out more information about it?
That would be epic. And by the way, you're welcome anytime you want to come. Flying in, the closest airport is Lambert, St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Driving in from pretty much anywhere in the Midwest is not a big deal. We are on pretty much a lot of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also, of course, have a website, midwestmaifest.org. We will be updating that up to and including the week of the event. So if you check out that website now, you'll see some preliminary information, the date, the time, etc., and location. But what you won't see yet are the vendors, because we start working on that. Well, we've already started working on it, but we'll, in earnest, right after the first of the year, we'll work on it, and we will continue to update that information weekly, right up until the event. So, don't check it out now and go, there's not that many people. You got to keep coming back and checking it out. Plus, we post, of course, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
No, absolutely. That's perfect. That's awesome. Mary Johnson, Midwest Maifest, thanks for being on with us today. I appreciate you.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jake. Appreciate it.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a ball